Reality isn't always what it seems. Some ideas twist your brain so hard they make you question logic itself. These are paradoxes, seemingly impossible ideas that reveal hidden truths, or maybe total absurdity. From time loops to logic traps, here are 7 mind-bending paradoxes that will warp your perception of reality. If you replace every single part of a ship, one piece at a time, is it still the same ship? This is the ship of Theseus, an ancient Greek paradox about identity. And here's a twist. What if you take the discarded pieces and build a second ship? Now, which is the real ship of Theseus? This paradox forces us to rethink what identity really means, not just for ships, but maybe even for ourselves. The bootstrap paradox. Let's say a scientist gets instructions from the future to build a time machine. She follows them, builds it, and sends the instructions back in time. But wait, who originally created them? This paradox shows how something can seemingly exist without origin, like an idea pulled out of thin air. Reality starts to feel less like science and more like fiction. A judge tells a prisoner, "You'll be hanged next week, but it will be a surprise." The prisoner reasons he can't be hanged on the last day, because then it wouldn't be a surprise. He eliminates each day with similar logic. But then, surprise, he's hanged midweek, and it was unexpected. This paradox mixes logic, expectation, and surprise into a psychological cocktail of confusion. Now let's get deep into logic and set theory. Consider a barber who shaves everyone in town who doesn't shave themselves. So, who shaves the barber? If he shaves himself, he shouldn't. If he doesn't, he should. This is Russell's paradox, and it caused a major crisis in early mathematics. It revealed a fundamental flaw in naive set theory and forced mathematicians to rebuild the foundations of logic. If you remove 1 grain of sand from a heap, it's still a heap. But if you keep removing them, when does it stop being a heap? This paradox messes with how we define vague concepts, like when does someone go bald, or when is a person rich? Turns out the line isn't always clear. A crocodile kidnaps a child and says, "I'll return the kid only if you correctly guess what I'll do next." If the parent says, "You won't return my child," what happens? If the croc gives the child back, the parent was wrong. If he doesn't, the parent was right, and he should have returned them, trapped in a loop. Can an all-powerful being create a rock so heavy that even they can't lift it? This paradox challenges the concept of omnipotence. If the being can't lift it, they're not all-powerful. If they can't create it, same problem. It's used in philosophy to probe the limits of absolute power and self-contradiction. Paradoxes like these are more than brain teasers. They push the limits of logic, challenge our understanding of knowledge, and expose cracks in systems we think are solid. And sometimes they remind us that reality might be a little stranger than we think. Want even deeper dives into logic, science, and reality-bending ideas? Hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss our next video. And remember, sometimes the biggest questions don't have answers.